Hello everyone. Today in this class we will study about pollination. So yesterday we had started with the concept of pollination. So we had discussed about what is pollination. So pollination is nothing but the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. Okay, this is the meaning of pollination. This is the definition of pollination. But why there is a need of pollination? Okay, why there is need of pollination? See, the need of pollination is because the male gametes and the pollen grains both are non-motile. Okay, both are non-motile, so there is a need of pollination. There is a requirement of pollination. Okay, so this is the definition about what is pollination, and this is the reason that why there is a need of pollination. And if suppose we want to know that who is doing the work, who is doing the work of transportation, then that is done by an agent known as pollinator. This was our yesterday's discussion. Today we will move forward with another thing. Okay, so let's make a good flow chart. Okay, so see, if I want to know, if I want to write pollination, so what is the definition of pollination? Pollination means it is simply transfer of pollen grains, okay, from anther to stigma. Okay, and who is helping? The helper here is the person who is doing the work of like delivery, and to deliver, to pick and to deliver, that person is a pollinator. Okay, that person is a pollinator. Next, now if suppose like we understood the two things, one, we understood this point like who is doing, and these three things are cleared, like what is the meaning, who is doing, and why there is a need of pollination. Next, if we want to speak the types of pollination, what we will speak, the types of pollination. See, the first type is self pollination, and the second type is cross pollination. Now what is the meaning of self pollination and cross pollination? Let's see an example. Now suppose there is a tree, okay, and it has a flower. Okay, so okay, so this tree is having one flower, and the flower is having both the male and the female parts. Okay, so it is having both the male and female parts. So what will happen here? Here the this female will get pollen from this male, means the male of the same flower. So there will be the female will get the pollen grain from the same, like from the male of the same flower. Okay, like if I show you one example, see, can you see this example? In this, what is happening? If you can see, here there is a here there is a male, Okay, let's take some other color. See, here there is a anther, and in between you can see the stigma. So from anther to stigma, in the same flower there is a transfer. So transfer is occurring in the same flower. If you can see, anther is of the same flower and stigma is also of the same flower. So here the transfer is from anther to stigma of the same flower. Here they have written within one flower, within the same flower. Okay, same flower. That is known as self pollination. What it is known as? Self pollination. Okay, if there is if the anther and stigma, the exchange of pollen grain is between from anther to stigma is in the same flower, then we say it as self pollination. Okay, coming to the page. So this is self pollination. Now, self pollination is itself of two types. How many types? Two types. First type is autogamy. Okay, and the second type is geitonogamy. What is the second type? The second type is geitonogamy. You can also say geitonogamy pronunciation. It depends. So here there are two types, autogamy and geitonogamy. Now autogamy means what? If this is the plant, okay, which I have shown here, the pollination, or you can say the pollination is like from this flower, same flowers, male part and female part, means this is occurring within one flower. Within one flower the anther is giving pollen to the stigma. Okay, the anther, you can see this male part, it's giving pollen to the stigma, means the female part. So this is autogamy. But suppose if there is another flower, if I draw here one more flower, okay, suppose if this is the flower, okay, so what will happen? Suppose this flower is having male part, okay, this flower is having male part, yes, and this flower we consider its female part. So here what will happen, the this flower number 1 which I have marked will give flower to the will give pollen to the flower number 2. So this male part is giving the pollens. What it is giving? The pollens to flower number 2. So when it is from flower number 1, if suppose it is from flower number 1 to flower number 2, then we say it as geitonogamy. But the condition is that geitonogamy is of same plant, okay, same plant. This is one plant, okay, same plant but two different flowers, same plant but two different flowers. Okay, same plant but two different plants. In autogamy what's happening? Within one flower, within one flower, okay, within one flower. So from female, like from this flower number 1, the male part is giving to female part, what it is giving? Pollens. In autogamy what's happening? In flower 1, male, or you can say female part, like it is getting from flower number 1 only the pollens from the male part. So this condition, this is of the condition which I have written. So this is of autogamy. Okay, I will mark it with yellow, and this condition which I am marking with green is of geitonogamy. So I hope you understood the meaning of geitonogamy and the meaning of autogamy. Okay, it's very simple. You just go with the color codes, green with green, yellow with yellow. That is the meaning of autogamy and geitonogamy. Okay, next if we come towards cross pollination. So cross pollination is something, it's between two different plants. Two different plants. Here the pollination occurs between two different plants. Okay, so we say it as cross pollination. Cross pollination. Now we will go in detail. I will show you the diagram of cross pollination. See here, the third diagram represents cross pollination. Okay, there are, this is plant number 1. Okay, this is plant number 1, and this is plant number 2. Okay, so the and third, like the pollen transfer is from plant number 1 to plant number, like from plant number 2 to 1. So from here the pollens will come and it will settle on the stigma. Okay, so this is about the basic topic which we have started. Now I will start with self pollination in detail. Okay, I will start with self pollination in detail. So self pollination, and I told what it is, having two different parts, two types. Okay, so what is the first type? First type is known as autogamy. Okay, and second type is known as geitonogamy, or you can say geitonogamy. Okay, what is autogamy? In autogamy, we say that pollination is within same flower. So same flower, this is important. In geitonogamy you will write it is between two different flowers of same plant. So I will write here different flowers of same plant. Okay, now another word for self pollination, it is also known as inbreeding. Okay, inbreeding you can say, or you can say selfing. So these are the, how many words you have? You have first word as selfing, then you have second word inbreeding, and the third word is self pollination. These are the types of it. Okay, so the types are, type 1 is autogamy, type 2 is geitonogamy. This is all about it. Okay, so speaking about cross, like this like self pollination. Now in self pollination, okay, so in self pollination, first, like what are the requirements? Suppose if I want to say that self pollination, if this is to occur, then what are the requirements of self pollination? See, whenever we want self pollination to occur, then the flowers should be bisexual flowers. Now what are bisexual flowers? Means single flower is having the female part as well as the male part. Okay, single flower is having both the parts. Okay, I will draw it bigger. Single flower is having both the parts. It is having female part, it is having female part, okay, it is also having male part. If one flower which is having both the parts, it is having female part also and male part also, okay, then we will say it as a bisexual flower. And this is a requirement for self pollination. Okay, so this is a requirement for self pollination, so the flower should be bisexual flower. If there is a need of, if there is a need of self pollination, then the flower must be bisexual flower. Okay, the flower must be bisexual flower. Now next part. Now if suppose the flower is a closed flower, okay, means the flower is not like, it is not, it has not opened. Before opening only the flower has undergone self pollination. If such flowers are then, means which are already undergoing self pollination before they, means like before they open they have to do self pollination, such closed flowers are known as clistogamy. What we say it as clistogamy. Now what is clistogamy? Clistogamy means the flowers which are closed. Okay, the flowers are closed, they have not opened, the anthers and stigma are not exposed. Okay, anthers, you can say anthers, and stigma, kya we can say, are not exposed, means they are closed. What, how are they are closed. Okay, they are not exposed means they are closed. Okay, these are not exposed, not exposed, they are closed. Before opening these flowers, before opening they first undergo self pollination. These are the closed flowers. Okay, so these are the requirements, these are the basic two requirements of self pollination to occur. And specifically you can say that the bisexual and clistogamous is for autogamy. Okay, you can, so I have written it this place only, this is this all criteria, you can say it's for autogamy. Now in autogamy, since the sexual reproduction is occurring in the same plant, like you can say in the same flower, means the anther and the stigma is of the same flower, so there will be no genetical, genetically there will be no variation. So here the offsprings will be identical. Okay, here the offsprings are identical because there will be no genetical way, like there will be no variation. So the offsprings will be genetically identical. Even in chitonogamy, this will be the same scenario. Okay, there also the offsprings are identical. Okay, because there will be no difference, because here what is happening, there is same plant. Okay, same plant, so there will be no variation. So in autogamy, or you can say in self pollination, there is no variation. In self pollination there is no variation. Okay, there will be no variation. Understood this much? Let's move forward. Now, in geitonogamy, if I want to say further, see, now what is the difference? Now, I told that if there is a plant, suppose this is one flower and this is second flower. So here there is a need of transportation, right? Means what? Here if suppose if we have to carry pollens, so there is a need of some person to carry. So here there is a need of agent, or you can say pollinator. So here we can state one statement. You can say that geitonogamy is actually it is, you can say, it is functionally similar to cross pollination. Okay, but then also it is not bringing any genetic variation, because in cross pollination, see, this diagram is of cross pollination where we have spoke, like we told that there will be two different plants, plant number one and plant number one and plant number two. So here if there is a need of pollen transfer, then you need some pollinator. Okay, without pollinator you can't transfer the pollens, right? Without pollinator you can't transfer the pollens. So there is a need of pollinator, and hence you need, you need someone, some agent. But in, even if you speak about in the same plant, this is the same plant, okay, same plant but two different flowers. Here also for transferring it can't jump and go, because I, in the beginning only I told that pollens are non motile. If pollens are non-motile, then they need someone to carry them. Okay, so here also in geitonogamy, or you can say geitonogamy, in this both cross pollination, geitonogamy, both are functionally same. Functionally same. Now, why is functionally same? Because both are using pollinators. Okay, I will write here geitonogamy and cross pollination. Now another word for cross pollination, second name. Okay, we also say cross pollination as xenogamy. Xenogamy. Okay, there are many words I will tell you, but for now you just remember cross pollination. So these two are functionally same. Functionally same. Now why functionally same? Because they are using pollinator. Okay, they are using pollinator for the transfer of pollens, for pollination, you can say. Okay, so this is a very important statement. Okay, next, this thing is understandable, so we are done with the self pollination. Okay, now examples for self pollination examples. See, autogamy examples are different, and for geitonogamy the examples are different. See, now for autogamy the examples are, okay, P is one example you should remember. You can also remember clitoria. Okay, at least two examples you should know. And for geitonogamy you can remember example as cucurbita. Cucurbita, it is a scientific name, cucurbita. Okay, so this much you should know at least. Yes, at least this much things you should know. Then we will move to the cross pollination. So in cross pollination, like, so cross pollination, we also say cross pollination as outbreeding. We also give it a name as allogamy. We also give it a name as xenogamy. So these are the words for cross pollination. Okay, so now in cross pollination, see, it is occurring between two different plants. Now for like some requirements must be there for cross pollination. Okay, if we speak about okay, one thing I should say, in autogamy, there is no need of pollinator because it is occurring in the same flower. If it is occurring in the same flower, so there is no need of pollinator. Okay, you also start writing these things in your notes so that you will have, see, you should also make some colorful flow chart diagram so that you, it will be very easier for you to remember things. Okay, so let's come here. So here, first of all, the first criteria is there is a need of pollinator. You need a pollinator. And the second thing is that the the flower is a unisexual flower. How is the flower? The flower is unisexual flowers. Unisexual flowers means now either the flower will just have the the anthers. Okay, means it will be a male flower. Okay, it will just have anthers, or the flower will just have a the flower will just have a female flower, female part, reproductive part. So in this condition, what will be there? Now it is having a to requirement, like there will be a need for this female part to get a pollen from another male part. So here there will be a requirement of pollen from another flowers. Now it can be from, obviously, now see, we spoke about that the cross pollination is occurring between two different plants. Okay, here there is two different plants. So for this reason, this flower will be from plant 1, and this female flower will be from plant 2. So there, these are unisexual flowers. These flowers are unisexual flowers. Okay, which are present on two different trees. Yes, so this is the basic you should know about cross pollination. Now if we speak about the pollinator, now in cross pollination there is a requirement of pollinator. So there are many types of pollinator which are required in cross pollination. Let's come to this part. So in cross pollination, in cross pollination there is requirement of agents. So these agents we say it as pollinator. So the agents are of two types. The agents can be, either it can be abiotic. Abiotic means which are non-living agents. Okay, non-living agents. And it can also be biotic agents. Biotic agents means which are living agents. Now in abiotic agents there are two types. The first type is known as water, and the second type is known as wind. Okay, and in biotic agents there are many types. Okay, like there will be use of bats, like there will be use of snails, there will be the use of insects. Okay, there will be use of birds. So now we will study each point. We will study abiotic also and biotic. So we will study the first type and we will study then the second type. So in abiotic agent, okay, abiotic agent means non-living. Okay, means the thing which is the agent which are non-living. So here you have first type as wind pollination. what we are discussing first type as wind pollination. Now in wind pollination, what happens is this here the pollination is occurred by the wind. Okay, the moving like the wind will help in pollination. Okay, so here like the wind pollination is having a name known as anemophily. So the process which is occurring by means the process of pollination which is occurring by wind is known as anemophily. What we say it as anemophily. This is the process. What is this? This is a process. And the flowers, okay, the flowers which undergo wind pollination, which undergo wind pollination, these flowers are known as anemophilous flowers. What we say it as anemophilous flowers. Okay, so this is the name of the flowers. So you should know this name. Anemophily is the process, and then the flowers which are undergoing this process are known as anemophilous flowers. Okay, next. Now these flowers are having some adaptations. So what are the adaptations of anemophilous flowers? Okay, so first of all, the flowers like which are undergoing anemophily, like the flowers, anemophilous flowers, like the examples for wind pollination are like there is this occurs in wheat, it occurs in rice, it occurs, you can see this is occurring mainly in monocots, and you have barley, you have oats. So you should know these examples for wind pollination. Okay, so now what are the adaptations of anemophilous flowers? Means how they adapted to wind pollination. What are the features which they are having because of the that like wind pollination is occurring? So in anemophilous flowers, the first adaptation, okay, the very first adaptation is that they are not having like they are not having any colored petals. So the flower is colorless. How is the flower? Flower is colorless. It has no nectar. It has no fragrance. It has no nectar, no fragrance. And the flower is very small. How is the flower? Small flower. Now, why this is the condition? See, since wind is non-living, okay, so wind doesn't needs and like see there is no need of attracting wind because wind is non-living. So even if you don't have colored flowers, no nectar, no fragrance, small flowers, doesn't matters because wind is a non-living thing. So this is a very important point. Now second point is that the pollens are light in weight. Pollens are like very light in weight. Now why light in weight? Because wind has to carry the pollens. For this reason the pollens are light in weight. Okay, and they are dry also. Now pollens are dry. Now it can't be sticky, otherwise the pollen will go and stick to anything. Okay, so randomly it will go and stick to any place. So it's not sticky, it's very dry, and the pollens are light in weight. Now here the production of pollens is very high. High production of pollens. Why? If there will be more pollens, if there will be more pollens, then what will happen? The the chances of pollination will be high. The chances of pollination will be very high. Okay, it will be very high. See, if there is more pollens, now wind is something which is a very random phenomena. Means there might be some pollens which will fall here and there. So if we have more pollens, then some pollens will go to flowers. Okay, and some may fall here and there. So here they are saying there is a requirement. So these flowers are actually producing the pollens in higher amount, so that the chances of pollens increases, means pollination increases, or else some pollens might fall here and there. So for this reason, the chances of pollination to increase, they increase the production. Now here the stigma is very sticky. How is the stigma? Stigma is, um, means not sticky. You can say it's very feathery. Sorry, it's not sticky. I told a wrong word. It's feathery. Now, why feathery? If suppose the stigma will be like this, it will be very feathery. Then here, when wind comes, now suppose from here, there is, now here wind is coming. Okay, wind is coming here. So wind is carrying some pollen. See, orange color pollen it is carrying. So easily when wind comes here, it can trap pollens, right? It can easily trap pollens. So this is feathery. Okay, and the stamens are very long and versatile. Now the fourth point. Now your stamens are long. Okay, how are the stamens? They are long and versatile. Now why they are long and versatile? See, I will explain. Suppose this is one flower. Okay, now here the stamens need to be very long, taller than the flower. They should be exposed outside. Now why they should be exposed outside? If they will be very, if the stamens will be tall and highly versatile. Versatile means what? Versatile means the filament movement. Okay, so filament will move here and there very easily. Suppose it's moving here, then moving there. Means what? As the wind comes, okay, suppose the wind is coming, so it should move here and there, idhar udhar jana. Movement should be very high. So we say that the filament is very much versatile, and the filament is very long, it's very tall. Okay, so if the filament is very tall, then what will happen? It will be very easy for the wind. Now suppose, if I say that wind is coming from here. Okay, now wind is coming from here. This is the wind, and these are the long filaments. So because of the wind, and versatile means it can easily move. Versatile means what? I will write the word. Versatile means easy movement, easy and faster movement. Okay, and tall, long, I told what is the reason. So here, if it is versatile, so it can easily move and the wind can easily come and carry the pollens. Okay, I will draw again the pollen. So wind is carrying the pollens, and suppose here there will be a flower which will have something here, the feathery stigma up, and then this feathery stigma will, here the pollen will come, and this pollens will get trapped in the feathery stigma. So here the stigma is feathery, and the anthers, and anthers of long filament, here you have long filament, and which is very versatile. So you should remember these things. These are the adaptations of anemophilous flowers. Okay, these are the adaptations of anemophilous flowers. So coming to the next part, which is pollination by water. Okay, second type is pollination by water. We are done with our, okay, this is was, let us consider wind as a first type and this second type. So we are done with wind pollination. So in abiotic, wind and water are there. So we are doing now water pollination. Then we will come to biotic agents. Okay, biotic agents, like here we will come, like I told you how many types we are going to study. Firstly, we will study about the insects, which is very important. Okay, firstly we will study about insects, and then secondly we will study about the birds, and then third we will study about the, the bats. Okay, we will study about the bats, and I will give you some terminologies of about other organisms, like which are doing biotic agents, and the criteria, like the adaptations we will discuss in like much faster way in biotic, because the adaptations are somewhat similar of the flowers. So let's begin with the wind pollination. Now, wind, oh, wind not water, sorry. So water pollination. Now what are the, what means, first of all, what is the second name for this? So the flowers which are undergoing this pollination, we say this process as hydrophily. This is the process, and the flowers which are undergoing this process are known as hydrophilous flowers. What we say, hydrophilous flowers. So we will discuss that what adaptations these flowers are having. Okay, so the adaptations. So here the pollination is brought by the water. We know water, H2O. Here water will do the pollination. So obviously the plants will be the aquatic plants, means they will be in the water. Okay. So here the examples for water pollination, you can say there is one example as Vallisneria. I will write your examples. Vallisneria. Okay. Then you have Zostera. Okay, so you have ceratophyllum also. You can write this also, ceratophyllum. So these all three types, like these are the examples. Okay, so these are undergoing water pollination. Now the adaptation is, they are like, adaptations are somewhat similar to the wind pollination. So here also the flowers are not colored. Okay, they are not colored. They don't have any fragrance. Okay, they don't have any nectar, and the flowers are very small flowers which are not easily visible, inconspicuous. How are the flowers? Small, inconspicuous, means they are not easily visible, inconspicuous. Okay, these are the 2 points. And here, the pollen is having a covering, you can say a sheet, like some secretory material is there on the pollen. That secretory material is known as mucilage. Now mucilage is such covering, such you can say secretory material which is present on the pollen, which is helping it, which is helping pollen to be unwettable, means गीला नहीं होना चाहिए वो pollen. Okay, it should remain unwettable. So the pollen has a covering. That covering is known as mucilage. Mucilage is a sticky, like some secretory covering. And the last thing, here they have perianth. Okay, they have perianth, and all the plants are unwettable. Okay, they have perianth because there is no need of the flower to be showy or attractive. So they have perianth. Now what is perianth? The here the sepals and petals are fused. Perianth is there. Okay, and full flower, all flower parts are unwettable. All flower parts are unwettable, means nothing will get wet. So these are the adaptations. Now there are two types of hydrophily. Okay, I hope these adaptations are clear. There is no colored flower petals. There is no fragrance, no nectar. The flower is very small. It's not visible, not seen properly, and the pollen has mucilage to like to get prevented from the from wetting, getting wet. The perianth is present. The sepal and petals are fused. That is known as perianth. All flower parts are unwettable, means they will not get wet. Okay. So now there are types of hydrophily. Hydrophily. Now there are two types. One type is known as hypohydrophily and the second type is known as epihydrophily. So here there is hypohydrophily and second you have epihydrophily. Okay. Now hypohydrophily means that the pollination is occurring below the surface of water. Okay. Now suppose this is the water. This is the water. Okay. So here the hydrophily is occurring below the surface of water, means here below, not on the surface. It is occurring below the surface. In epihydrophily, the pollination is occurring on the surface, where it is occurring on the water surface. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So I will write here that here the pollination occurs below water surface, and here it occurs on water surface. Okay, now if it is occurring below water surface, if something is occurring below water surface, okay, this is the water surface and this is below water surface, this is the surface of the water. Okay, so if the pollination is occurring below water surface, then why it is occurring, what would be the reason, means something is getting sink here. Okay, so the hypohydrophily is occurring at the, like in the below in the, like below the surface it is occurring. Why it is occurring below the surface, because something is getting sink. Now why something is getting sink, because the things are very heavier. Now that is nothing but pollens are very heavy. If pollens are heavy, then it will undergo hypohydrophily. If pollens are light in weight, then it will undergo epihydrophily. Okay, so I hope this is understandable. So I will erase this. If you want to draw such diagrams, then you draw it when I had drawn. Now I'm erasing. You can go, you can reverse the video, like you can rewind it and you can see the things again. I will write here that pollens are heavier, hence sinks. If the pollens are heavier, then they sink, and if pollens are getting sink, then what will happen, the flowers are present at the bottom means below the surface, so the stigma will receive the pollens. So here the pollens are heavier and stigma is present below the surface. Okay, so the example which is occurring like in which this type is occurring, hypohydrophily, that is zostera. Okay, in zostera this is occurring, hypohydrophily and epi. Now in epihydrophily, what will happen here, pollens are lighter in weight, hence float. If pollen is floating on the surface, then what will happen, now you see, I will discuss this. So the example here is of Vallisneria, and Vallisneria is a submerged plant. How it is, It is a submerged plant, means it's present inside the water. It's not present on the surface. So how this pollination occurs if it is not present on the surface? So let's see this. Let's see. Let's talk about Vallisneria example. Okay. Now in Vallisneria, what actually happens? So the pollens are represented in pink color, which are present on the surface. This is on water surface. And the flower, you can say the flower is submerged. How is the flower? It is submerged. Okay, now obviously this is the male and female parts are totally like the plants are different. One is the male plant and the second one is the female part plant. Means the plant is dioecious plant, dioecious, monoecious. I have explained this video, this meaning on my channel. The words, such words, go and check those words. Dioecious means, di means divorce, and echious. Dioecious means different plant. The male and female are staying separately. So this is a dioecious condition. What is happening here? The flower shows a temporary migration. What it shows? It shows temporary migration. Now why it is showing temporary migration? It is showing temporary migration because the flower has to undergo pollination. These are the pollens. Okay, so it will go up, the flower will go up, take the pollens, and again it will come down. Okay, so there will be a temporary migration. The flower goes on the water surface, it takes the pollens, and then it comes back to its, back it comes to its original position. So this is about epihydrophily. Okay, now if suppose some plants are on the water surface, then they can also undergo anemophily. Anemophily. Okay, anemophily means wind pollination, because if the flowers will be here on the water surface, then wind can come and wind can pollinate them. So here flowers can undergo wind pollination. Even they can undergo like insect pollination. Insect pollination is known as entomophily. Entomology means the study of insects, and the type of pollination we say it as entomophily. So in insect pollination we say it as entomophily. I will explain this when we will speak about biotic agents. So the flowers which are present on, okay, so aquatic plants, I will write if they're present on the surface. So the flowers which are undergoing entomophily, and some flowers are also undergoing anemophily. Okay, the flowers which are undergoing anemophily, um they are like potamogenton, potamogenton, and they have halogeries. Okay, they are having halogeries. Then in entomophily there are again types like lotus, you have water hyacinth, hyacinth, and you have water lily. Okay, so these are the examples. The flower which are aquatic, but then also they are undergoing, and entomophily means insect pollination. Okay, and anemophily, you know that anemophily is wind pollination. Okay, so this is about the water pollination. Last we will come to biotic agent. Now biotic agents, means biotic pollinators. Now 80% pollination is done by these pollinators. 80% pollination. So they do 80% pollination. And remaining 20% is done by abiotic agent. Okay, remaining 20% is done by abiotic pollination. Now where I have written abiotic word here. So they do 20% pollination. You should remember this point. Okay, and here they are doing 80% of pollination. Now in biotic there are many types. The first type, okay, the first type which is doing this transfer is insects. Insect pollination is known as entomophily. What we say? Entomophily. The pollination which is done by insects, we say entomophily. Second, if the pollination is done by the bat, we say it as chiroptrophy. What we say? Chiroptero. Okay, chiriptry, whatever, chiriptry philly. Okay, I thought it's O, but it's Y. Chiroptrophy. Okay, it's done by the bats. And the last one, which is done by the birds, are known as ornithophily. What we say? Ornithophily. So the flowers which undergo insect pollination are known as entomophilous flowers, and the flowers which undergo chiroptophyly means bad pollination, they are known as chiroptophilous flowers, and the flowers which undergo ornithophily are known as ornithophilous flowers. Now here the common adaptations of all these three. So they have some common adaptations. So the flowers have common adaptations, means all the biotic agent flowers will have these adaptations. They will have nectar, they will have colored petals, okay, and they will have good fragrance, okay, and their pollens will be sticky. These are the common things, very common things which are there in this type. You know which type? With the biotic agent types. This is a very common thing you will see. So these are the, you can note it as a common points. Now each type has its own, it has its own specific, specific adaptations. These are the adaptations of flowers. Okay, like in insect pollination, if I want to speak about insect pollination, so in insect pollination also the flowers will be good, like they will be big, okay, they will be very brightly colored, they will have nice fragrance, they will have nectar, okay, and they will have some sticky, very sticky, this something like some sticky material will be there, secretions will be there in the flower. Yes, and the pollen will release some sticky part, some sticky pollen, so that yellowish sticky things. And why it will remove this sticky material? Because the pollinators can have a, like, it can stick on their feet, on their legs, okay, claws. If it will get stick, then what will happen? It If suppose one insect is going on, insect or bird or bat, if they are going on from one flower to another flower, then the stick, the thing has got stuck on their feet or whatever, like legs and all, then it will get stuck to the stigma, And here in the biotic agent, like biotic agents, this type of the flowers, like here they are having adaptation as sticky stigma. This adaptation was not there in the in pollination and all, like hardly it was not there. There the stigma was feathery, but here the stigma is sticky stigma. Okay, so here the biotic agents have sticky, like they require something. The insects, bats, birds, and snails, and all, they require some sticky pollen, because they can carry it easily, or it can, it can fall here and there, the pollens might fall. So to have a grip and all, they require sticky pollens. And here the pollen is spiny. How is the pollen? The pollen is having spiny structure to maintain, again, to take a grip, so that the pollen should not fall. Okay, now this is about the insects. Now in bats, again the flower should be brightly colored, showy, nectar should be there, the pollen grain is sticky and spiny. But here the only one thing in bat in the birds, sorry, in the birds, they are not having good sense of smell. No sense of smell. Okay, like it's very poor, you can say poor, instead of saying no, you can say poor. So here there is, these flowers will not have fragrance. Okay, so ornithophilus flowers will not have fragrance. Then coming towards the bat pollination. So in bat pollination, again, the flowers, the only one thing that in bat pollination, the flowers are not colored. Okay, it's like very dull colored. If even if they are colored, they are not very, there are not bright colors present, so it's very dull colors present there. Okay, they will be colored, but it will be very dull colors. Okay, and rest all things will be similar to insect pollination. So this is all about pollination, which I have spoken till now. Very huge topic it was. Now in the next class, tomorrow's class, we will speak about outbreeding and inbreeding devices. Okay, we will do outbreeding, inbreeding devices, and we will do pollen pistil interaction. These three topics, or might be we can take artificial hybridization also. So these three, four topics we will take in one class. And in the next class we will take, like after that we will take double fertilization and development of endosperm. And in the last class we will take the entire topic of, the the seed development and fruit development. So it will be next, you will have only three classes, and within three classes we will be done with this chapter. Okay, within three classes we will be done with this chapter. So thank you for watching this class. Keep learning, keep studying.